Hey, everybody. Welcome to Same Team, Different Jerseys again. We have,
Oh, Sonia, hey.
there you
Oh, is
go.
that how we're doing it now?
Yeah, that's your cue.
Oh, okay.
Holy God, that failed miserably. You
Hi,
guys
guys.
did not take a cue.
Well,
Hannah Banana back again.
Yep. All right. Once again, we don't have a specific topic. We're just gonna kind of fucking bullshit today, but I do have a clip I want to show everybody, and it has something to do with
we're diving right in.
yeah, why
We're
not?
diving straight in.
Yeah, we're gonna share this. Yeah, this is gonna, more fun for you to have to edit later there, Sonia.
Trigger warning, if you're soft about
Sensitive.
words.
Yes, if you don't know Tim does not swear. He does not get mad. He's very level-headed. And this is about
until this episode.
until this episode. So some
Which for
backstory
fair
real quick.
reason.
Yeah, for backstory, his complex is out in the middle of West Virginia, out in the middle of the woods. We're talking about a kid on a banjo in a tree out in the woods, you know. So if you don't get that reference, you're too young. Um, so he got his compound shot at 3 times. Drive by, somebody shot at the compound. So
leanings of a generation for the first time in history is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. It's fucking evil. So you know what? When someone pulls in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of shit and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah,
I'm fucking done with these people.
she has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give 2 fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property?
Yeah, he gets a little angry there.
yeah, it goes on for another like 10 minutes. He goes
we
on
just-
a 10
Can we just preference this by saying that I love the word cunt? Like, I love that it's being used so, like, openly by Tim Cass.
I will second
Tim
that.
Pool,
I
I
absolutely
love it.
absolutely love that word. But what he's basically, I have to agree with it. I mean, Charlie Kirk obviously was assassinated. Trump got shot at once, and then another attempt, but no shots were fired. Most conservatives, podcasters, have to have security. Obviously, we're not big enough, but even on this podcast, like if we got big enough and we had shit like that happen, your wife has already told you that you would like fucking yank it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my personal opinion. I disagree with that. I don't care what happens. I would never yank it. But nobody on the Democrat side, nobody on the left. I used to preference between left, liberal, and Democrat. Now I'm just saying Democrat because all the Democrats walk in fucking lockstep with the most crazy left-wing shit out there. And none of them have security like all the conservative people do.
But blows my mind. Okay, so I did a little bit of a search yesterday or the day before looking at like left-wing podcasts. they're not like anything crazy. Like they're not on any type of level like if you were to put Candace into the left wing side, which it kind of seems like she is now, which is kind of interesting
She's getting
because
real fucking
she
close.
was like pretty on board with Trump for a while. Anyway, but so if you loop Candace into that, Candace is like the biggest left wing podcast with however many followers she has. I forget how many, but like you look at all the other top 10, like they've got like maybe 50,000 followers.
Yeah. Tim
Like
Pool has
they're not anything big.
matter of fact.
Like
So I think
there's more people watching Twitch gamers like the Burnt Peanut than there is
Yeah.
people listening to left wing podcasts.
Now, Tim has a couple different ones. He has Tim Pool, Tim Cast IRL, just Tim Cast IRL, not his other stuff, has 2.5 million.
Yeah. There's no left wing podcast that has that.
No.
And if there is, I didn't fucking find it.
Harry Sisson had a lot on TikTok, but we all know he's fucking crazy.
So I think it's weird too that we're going to dive back to Candace Owen for a minute, because I think it's weird that when I started, right, getting into like the political nonsense and I started like watching and listening and whatever, I really liked where Candace was coming from as a woman, as a Black woman. And so I was very much for her and I was in her corner. And then to have her flip so dramatically was like, I wonder, I'm always curious, like, what the psychology is there. Like, what crazy thing happened, or what, you know what I mean? Like, what flipped in her brain to make her go to that extreme of like,
so
oh, Jesus, the look on both y'all's face.
the rumor has it.
Okay.
I don't know how to verify this. I don't know how true it is. But the reason Candace hates Erica so much is because Charlie picked Erica. So Candace used to work at TPUSA. And
yeah, and then she was a part of the, wasn't she was like a big time member, like one of the chairmen or something for what is it? Blexit or Blexit. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, she was really in deep with Charlie, and Charlie chose Erica. So
you think she's basically a jaded lover?
I think she's jaded. I mean, and all of us conservatives used to love Candace. Like,
I remember.
All in her corner.
I remember.
I didn't really find out about Candace until early this year. And so I watched a lot of her old stuff. And I liked it, right? Like when she was on stage and she was pregnant and that lady comes to the mic and she's like, she's like, oh, I have a question. And she's like, I'm sure about my identity and I know who I am, what I am, blah, 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 blah. And what do you have to say about that? And she's like, not a question. Next person. That's a statement, and
I'm too fucking pregnant for this.
Yeah, I'm too fucking pregnant for this. Or that one girl comes up there like, oh, what do you have to say for yourself about how your statement and your views are going to impact all of like the trans people on this campus? And she was like, get a helmet. I don't know.
Life is tough. Get a helmet.
Yeah, life is tough. Get a helmet.
Yeah. So there's no doubt that we were, and to me, this is the biggest difference between the left and the right, is no matter what the left says, no matter what a Democrat says, the left will back them no matter what.
I will say that about Democrats is like once one of them makes a decision, they are really big in.
They lock arms.
They lock arms, which is really. I really hate that the Republicans are not like that. Like the Republicans will spend more time fighting each other to where it's not beneficial. Yes. Whereas the Democrats are kind of like, this is a horrible idea, but because the party wants it, I'm on board.
I get that when it comes to like being in Congress, but like when somebody says something bad in the Democratic Party, nobody
speaks up.
Yeah, nobody says, they will back their play. They were like, well, of course Jews are bad. Like, it doesn't matter what they say, they will back them. Where Republicans, the minute you start acting crazy, we're like, fucking, he or she is out. They're crazy. We have no problem cutting you off. Candace Owens used to be the poster child of conservatism. We all loved her to death. And now she's gone off the fucking deep end. Matter of fact, how far has she I did not know this until I looked this up, but where is it? Share. I had to do this in 2 different ones. These are all the people that Candace Owens has said killed Charlie Kirk. French government, French Foreign Legion, whoever that fucking person is, Israel, Jewish donors, U.S. government, deep state, Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk. He's accused the wife of
Wow.
Blake Neff, Pastor Rob. Hold on. It keeps going. Oops, wrong one.
I really wish you would not have shown my last name, but K. Dot.
Stacey Sheridan, Freemasons, BB.net. Like, and her most recent one, she said the American military.
Yeah.
The military was behind it. The only person she hasn't accused is the fucking person who shot him.
I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I do think there are like some sketchy stuff about the investigation, right? Like I think there's some stuff that doesn't add up, right? Eh, will I trust 100% what the FBI comes out to say? To a point, right? There's always a grain of salt. Like anytime you're dealing with the government, as majority of people know, like you can't trust your government wholeheartedly. Like if there's a person out there and they say, "Oh, I 100% trust our government," you're the problem. You're the problem. You shouldn't trust your government.
That comedian that says, you don't believe in any conspiracies? I believe in not believing in all of them, but none of them? You think the government's batting 100? Like,
Yeah, no.
Obviously we all believe in like 1 or 2, you know. I'm kind of did we all land on the moon, really? I'm kind of in that camp.
What?
I've always been in that camp.
You don't think that we landed on the moon?
I didn't say I didn't think it. I
do find it interesting that we've never been back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my problem. Like
fair.
I can get on board and say, "Oh yeah, we totally landed on the moon," whatever. But I find it interesting that we've never gone back.
There's no shadows. There's now this one was debunked, but my biggest one was when who's the astronaut? Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
When Neil Armstrong stepped off the thing and the news anchor was like, this is the first, and it shows him, and it's like, this is the first shots of Neil Armstrong on the taking pictures of the moon. And they're like, well, who's holding the camera?
His crew.
He was the first one on the moon.
Oh, okay. I get
So
what you're
who's
saying.
holding the camera?
Got it.
And NASA says that there was a camera on the leg where it landed. There was a camera.
Well, that makes sense. It was a big event, big deal.
And I was
like whatever. Okay, I can see that.
I mean, that's a big fucking camera. I mean, we're talking about, we're talking way back in the day.
Yeah. When did we land on the moon?
60. Oh my God. I fucking failed. I can't believe I lost the date. What year?
Damien was probably alive. Let's be honest.
Fuck off. No, I wasn't. 69. I wanted to say 68, but I thought I was wrong. July 16, 1969. Cameras.
Okay, so it's 2025. Okay. We have the technology, we have the capabilities, and we've never gone back.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I do find that weird.
I heard something about, and I don't know, obviously I don't know how true this is because I didn't actually look into it, but I heard something about like we haven't been back because there was some sort of treaty afterwards that we didn't have a reason to go or something.
The government reason is because we've had no need. We won the space race.
Yeah, but it's the moon.
The only reason we went to the moon was to beat Russia. That was
but
it.
Yeah, it was just to
it's
prove
the
a
moon.
point.
Like,
Yeah, it was literally America dick swinging contest.
Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly what it was. But there's just like the pictures of Neil Armstrong on the moon are like 4K clear on some of them. I mean, there's just I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm just saying I got a lot
I mean,
of
it is
questions.
NASA. They probably had technology that wasn't available yet, right?
I know.
I mean, like, there's a lot of things that you could read into it, but yeah, I get with it. Like, I do find it weird though that we've never been back. Like,
just
we've
like
never gone back.
just sheer curiosity.
Yeah,
Alone.
for like updated photos of like, you know, the
But
planet. Like,
I'm not a
nothing?
I'm not a flat earther or any weird ones. JFK was shot by who he was shot by. You know, there wasn't anybody on the grassy knoll fucking now the only question I have on the grassy knoll is for all of us that have shot guns, we know what happens with an exit wound.
Yeah.
So why does the back of his head have a bigger exit wound than the front?
Well, that is common though.
I was going to say, doesn't that actually make sense because it would go through and then out the back?
Yes, but he was going away from the book depository building. He got hit in the back of the head, they said.
Yeah. And that's not how that works.
That's not how ballistics work.
No. You shoot an animal, okay, for a perfect example. You shoot an animal, okay? The exit wound is always bigger than your entry wound. Right?
I don't care
like
what gun
like
you're using.
the only way you're gonna get a similar size potential exit wound is like if you're using a bow and arrow, right?
Yeah.
Because there's not all this velocity and power. Like a buddy of mine had shot he'd shot a deer recently, and the doe wasn't standing like completely broadside, so she wasn't standing like this. She was kind of angled, and it went in through her front shoulder, and it came out her stomach, like it came out her belly, and it pulled all the guts with it. And he's like, and it blew this big ass hole out of her stomach. And he like showed me a picture of it and everything, and he was like, I didn't think that, I want to say he was using like a 6.5 or a 308. Maybe I can't remember what caliber gun he was using, but it was a higher caliber, right? Like it's not like he was using a 5.56. So bigger calibered gun. And he was like, I just can't believe that it did that. And I was like, that's pretty common because you got to think of how much power, how much feet per second, and everything that's traveling with that bullet. When you exit, it creates almost like a vacuum, and everything that's loose that's around it is coming with it. It's gonna pull that shit right out that exit wound. So yeah, him having a huge blowout in the back of his skull, common sense, if you're familiar with guns and shooting stuff, is gonna tell you that bullet had to have entered through the front and it blew out the back.
Which is the front was the grassy knoll.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
which would dictate that there was somebody on the grassy knoll.
Right.
Yes.
But I mean, going back to violence, it seems that there's a statistic that says in the past 30 years, 85% of the violence is from the right. And what they don't add in that is the fact that they don't count the Summer of Love as left-wing violence. They don't count the assassination on Charlie Kirk or the attempted one on Trump as left-wing violence.
Why?
Because the news, the media won't say anybody on the left is all the trans kids that shot up the schools.
Yeah.
That's not left-wing violence. They don't count that as left-wing violence. They count it as mentally ill violence. But a fucking Republican can fart sideways and it's right-wing violence. So that's why the 85% of violence is from the right is because, well, if you don't count any of the fucking left-wing violence,
right,
of course it's all going to be from the right.
Right.
But if you start adding
Okay, so before we...
So like BLM isn't left-wing violence?
No, they don't count that as left-wing.
Antifa wasn't left-wing violence?
They don't count that as left-wing violence.
Wow, that's wild.
All these riots are not left-wing violence?
Nope. The shooting at the congressional baseball team, even though he specifically said he shot the Republican, because of Bernie Sanders and what he said. Now, I don't blame Bernie Sanders,
But
but
the left has been able to get away with quite a bit. I mean, look at what's the fuck her name? Kathy Griffin or whatever, and she said like a bunch of like really horrible things about Trump and had the meme of her like holding his head or something, and like that
yeah,
that was totally okay. But had we done the
she
same thing with President Trump or with President Biden or
Obama?
Obama,
Oh
it would
my
have been like
god.
World War VII, and it would have been a national security thing. And
If a
oh my
celebrity
God,
would if a
do you,
celebrity would have went on TV holding up the head of Obama,
yeah, it would have been,
oh,
Oh, bro, they'd have been in prison so quick.
yeah.
yeah, and a lot of people was like, "I wish somebody would, assassinate Trump."
A lot of
And
people said that.
a lot of people said that, and if you threaten the president, that is
That's a
against the
crime.
law. That's a
Yeah, that's a
crime,
crime.
So
and
I
so
think
many
it's
people say it all the time.
I think it's wild that people don't realize that if our president fails, left or right, it doesn't matter. If our president fails, we as a country fail. Like we as a country are then defeated and we
Yes.
then become this little hole in the wall place.
Yeah.
And like the people that, when Trump was elected the first time was like, oh, well, not my president. Okay. But again, it's like, okay, you take a pilot. If you say, well, that's not my pilot, and that pilot fails, you're all dead. It's not you don't get to survive because that wasn't your pilot. You're all
True.
dead.
Oh,
It's the
I
same concept, and it's wild to me that people are so like caught up in their own feels to even understand that is reality. Like I don't get me wrong, I hate politics. Politics are exhausting. But there's a lot of things that okay, every president has done that sometimes you're like, "Oh, well that's awesome." Like that was a benefit or whatever. But there's things that Trump himself has done that I'm like, maybe not.
yeah, I'm not a fan of everything, and you're completely right. I didn't like Biden. I didn't like Obama. I didn't
Right.
want them to fail though,
Right.
because failing just hurts me. But these
Yeah.
people want Trump to fail.
I'll tell you what, I really hated Obama. I was in when he pushed the button to let people volunteer get out.
Yeah, a lot of people that we knew got out. They took the payout and dipped
Oh,
out.
yeah. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. We still haven't recovered from it. The
Right.
military still has not recovered.
Just so you know, I've been in the military long enough to know that that was like an every 6, 7, 8 year thing. There's always, oh, we have too many fucking people. We don't have enough. We have too many. We don't have enough.
Oh, yeah, it's
They've
constant. But
yeah, they've
yo,
been
like
doing that since
when
my
he
dad's been in.
opened up that freaking volunteer to get out thing, like so many people. So
Yeah.
many. I mean, don't get me wrong, it turned out pretty great a couple years later because we had such a shortage of rank that like if you
Yeah.
put your name on the paper, you were getting promoted. The year I made E5, the promotion rate was the highest like it had ever been, and I was like, we're all making rank, and
mean-
we pretty much did. Like
Yeah,
54,
that happened.
I think it was 54 or 55% of the people that tested
Yeah.
made rank.
I think my rank one is up here somewhere. But I made E6.
I think they're behind you on that wall. No, other side, babe.
That's they're fucking somewhere. I got them up somewhere. But yeah, when I made E6, I was like first month so on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I had a buddy that when we found out that we made rank, like he was already like technically behind. Like he should have put on
Found it.
like he should have put on like the day we found out. Yeah, it was And then
Yep.
it didn't it was like that for a while. Like we had a really high promotion rank or promotion percentage the year that I made it, and then like the following years after that, like it would only go down like 1 or 2%. So like it was in
Yeah.
the 50s for a while.
Yeah.
Like
But you still didn't want him to fail
no.
because that just hurts you. And just the political atmosphere right now. I mean, I'm 49 years old, everybody. I've been through a few presidents. I've And everybody was like, "Oh, it's been bad before." I could tell you at 49 years old, it's never been this bad. I've never seen so many people. I mean, when you can't even go to your family's Thanksgiving, Christmas because, oh, they're Republicans or they're Democrat, like people are
Yeah, they're
breaking up
tearing
families.
yeah, families, friendships that have been friends for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's
My,
wild.
my dad has had a couple friends that he's had since he was like 19, went straight in the Air Force. They served with him the whole time. He's been
Dad's
friends with them
73,
for,
by the way.
yeah, my dad's 73. And the minute he posted on there that, a pro Trump thing, they messaged him swearing at him and saying, "Don't ever fucking message us again," and deleted them. And
Jesus.
these were people that were
Yeah.
friends with him for
Yeah, like
30
Decades.
30,
years.
30, 40 years or whatever. Yeah.
Like I had a
Yeah,
best friend,
it,
Travis. Travis was my best friend. I was great friends with him. He knew I was Republican. Like, it's not like I was a secret. I knew he was liberal and I was Republican. Like, we were friends for years. And when I said something about Trump, like, "Hey, I'm voting for him," he fucking dropped me like a hot potato. And I didn't change my views. It's not like I'm a different person.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, like, I don't think your political views needs to be it doesn't even need to be, like, talked about, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good conversation, especially if you're knowledgeable in politics, but, like, I can tell you right now, like, my wife and I, we don't talk about politics at all.
Damon and I don't talk about politics. He talks, I listen.
Amber won't even tell me who she voted for. But
Are you
that's how
serious?
deep it is. I mean, I
Wow.
have a good idea who she voted for, but, like, if I go ask her right now, "Hey, honey, who'd you vote for?" I'm not telling you. She won't tell me.
Wow. I know Sonia voted for Trump. We went together.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a good
So,
feeling that she did, right? But I
well,
don't
you
know
had
for
fucking
sure.
Kamala. Like, seriously. And you know what? The Democrats get so mad and they call us misogynistic. Because, females don't vote. But they say, well, the Republican Party is just misogynistic. That's why they wouldn't vote for Hillary. That's why they didn't vote for Kamala.
Wait.
What a better
Rewind.
fucking
Rewind. Females
what?
don't vote?
It was a joke. I was being facetious.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait,
Because
do
they
people
just
actually
say,
say that?
You missed
well,
it. The first time we recorded the abortion podcast, right? The first time we started it and the one that we lost. At first we started out with women's rights, right? So we
Oh,
talked about
jeez.
how women have the right to vote, but we don't have to sacrifice anything to vote, right?
right.
It was just given to us. And so we had
Mhm.
a whole diabolical conversation about that. And we got into the whole like, oh, women vote on feelings and men vote on objectivity, and women are very subjectivity, right? Um, we got on a whole topic of that.
So I think I can agree with that to a point. I think for me, like my biggest thing obviously is military, like being a military kid and then marrying a military man, like obviously that's gonna dictate who I vote for. Um, and it's funny because I think, like you said, like I don't think politics need to be talked about. I don't think that it needs to be announced like hey, I'm right or I'm left or I'm whatever. I don't care. And I think that's why I love my family so much because we don't talk politics like almost ever.
So
Oh man,
I
you
saw,
get my family started. Don't get me wrong. My whole majority of my family is Republican, right? Like, I pretty much can guarantee right now, like who my uncle voted for, who my aunt voted for, who my grandparents voted for, who my mom
Yeah.
voted for, who my
yeah.
stepdad voted for. Like, I can pretty much go down the list and be like, they all voted for this person, right?
Yeah.
And they're like diehard for the party, right? Like they're like they'd rather see a Republican, even if they were horrible. Like my grandparents, it could have been the worst possible Republican, and they are diehard. They are voting for that Republican because it's a Republican. Like they're diehard for it, right? Um, but even then, like even if we get into conversations about it, like once the conversation gets heated, we're like, all right, we're done. We're over this. Like we can agree to disagree. We can nip this in the butt, and we can move on. Cause like my uncle goes down like all the rabbit holes, dude. Like he is like, You wanna talk about, like, tin hat? And he didn't used to be like that, but man, he's like the tin hat, like, all the conspiracy theories. Like, I remember when I first got out, he was like, "Oh, you better be watching for what happens come, you know, Veterans Day," and I'm like, "What's happening?" He's like, "Just wait and see." Veterans Day came and went, and I was like, "What are we waiting for?" What
I
what was
I go
supposed to happen?
Yeah, I go down all the rabbit holes, but I go down them because I'll read a story and I'll be like, "Okay, how legitimate is that?"
You
And
also have
just
the attention span of a squirrel sometimes,
yeah,
so
yeah, but I have to go down all the rabbit holes to find out the true story because I'll read an article like, today there was an article that I was reading in the car while I was working, that Republicans wanted to take away the women's right to vote. And I was like, "Where the fuck are they getting that?" And I found out later it was an
okay, wait,
opinion.
but if they do, does that mean we get to stay home?
If you want.
Does that mean the prices are gonna drop back down to, like, 1950s and I can stay at home and wear my ridiculous dresses for no reason?
Okay, I wanna tell everybody this right now. If you think for first of all, this is why I believe all the businesses are fucking lying to you when they say they raised the prices because of tariffs. This is I
I
need
didn't say that. I
no,
just
no, no,
asked.
no, but
Okay.
I need everybody to pay attention to this. If that was true, if they raised the prices because of tariffs and all these tariffs end up going away, do you think Microsoft is going to drop the fucking price? No. Everybody's used to paying these prices. It's like with the gas prices. Everybody was like, "Oh, we needed to go back down to a buck 99." You're never going to see a buck 99 again,
Oh my god,
ever.
speaking of gas, I'm so sorry to cut
It's
you
up
off,
to
babe.
3.
But yeah, so I was talking to my mom and she's in Vermont, right? And I told her we were paying, I think the other morning it was like 293 or something, and she was like,
Yep.
"What? You're paying 293?" And I was like, "Yeah. What are
You
you
guys
paying?"
wanna
And
know
she's
how
like,
much I
"I'm
paid
still
for
paying
gas?
350."
You guys
It's
wanna
like,
know how much I
"Damn,
paid for gas today?
too
How
much."
much?
231.
I
Yeah.
hate you.
She's in Texas.
Yo, the day okay, so I remember paying $3 and some change, right? Just barely over $3. The day we found out that Trump got elected, it was down to, like, 225, and then it went right
What?
Yeah.
yeah, just the day he got elected, but then it went right back up the next day, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck yeah." But
It
yeah, we're
was like,
still paying, like we're paying under 250. Some
yeah,
depending on where you go, right? Like,
That's
if I go right
wild.
down the road from my house and I pay with my debit card, I'm gonna pay $3 and some change, like 305, 315,
yeah.
whatever. But, like, all on I-10, everywhere, it's under $3. It's like the most you'll pay is, like, 245.
When I
Wow.
I I should have known, but when I woke up the next day after I watched the president election night and the whole 9 yards and Trump won, I woke up the next day and I checked my crypto like I do every day. In 1 day, in 24 hours, I made $11,000 and everything in me told me, "Okay, take it out. Fucking take it
He
out."
did not.
I did
FYI.
not, and I lost
Lost it all.
like 8 grand in the next 3 weeks. I mean, I still made $3,000, but like that first day, all my crypto skyrocketed to 11 grand. It hasn't been back since. And I'm like so
Yeah.
pissed. But
Yeah, I just hold on to all my shit. Like, I bought a bunch of, so, like, at the very, very end of COVID, right before everything opened back up, right? And a lot of the cruise lines were talking about, oh, we're doing cruises again, we're doing cruises again, right? They were dirt cheap. So I bought, some cruise line shares.
yeah,
Yeah, they're not even fucking close to where they used to be anymore. They're still not anywhere close to it.
no, nobody
I
wants
was
them.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna make so much money," like, cause like, that's how the airlines were, like, Boeing during COVID dropped, and a bunch of people bought into it, and then as soon as everything opened back up, Boeing skyrocketed, and a bunch of people made a lot of money, so I did the same thing with cruise
Yeah.
lines. They're not even close to where they used to be.
But
Still
I feel
not
like
even
Everybody,
close.
cruise lines are less popular now too because
they're a
I don't know,
fucking
like
petri dish.
well, right. So I think like our generation is a little bit more precautious as opposed to like I also feel like cruise lines are like super like retiree friendly and not really
There's no there's no young, and I'm not, I mean,
right.
we have an age difference, obviously, but we kind of like the same thing.
Right.
But there's nothing even if you split our ages right down the middle, which would be 40, there's nothing for there's really nothing for 35, 40-year-old people.
Right.
That's because you're too old to go to the club now. Like nobody 20-year-olds go to the club at like fucking 10:30 at night.
Oh my God, bro. I'm in
We're
bed. My
fucking
ass has
sleeping.
been out for at least an hour and a half.
Yeah. If we've gotten texts from friends that say, "Hey, do you mind if we come over?" And it's woken us up and we're like, "No, we're fucking sleeping. We got work tomorrow. We got fucking jobs." And they're like wanting to start like, "Hey, let's go to the bar. What time? 10?" Like, no,
Yeah,
we're
I remember the last time when I was still in Arizona and we went to the bar and I was like, "What time are we going?" And you guys are like, "We're going at 8." And I was like, "The sun's
Yeah.
barely down. Okay. All right. We'll go at
We
8."
would have went at 7 if we could have. Like
It's too early.
by 10 we're like
Listen, you go, you
it's
drink
time
for
to
like 2.5, 3 hours. You sober up for an hour. You're out by 10. You're home by 10:15. You in bed by 10:30.
yeah, nobody's got time for
Too
that
old.
shit. So
See, I don't know. I remember in the past, like my last year in the military, and I would get off work at midnight and I'd call up my friend who lived on base. And she was like 3 minutes down the road on base and everything. And I'd call her up and be like 12:01. I'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm sitting on my couch." I'm like, "Cool, I just pulled into your driveway, open the door." And it'd be like 12:02 and we'd start drinking.
and we'd be like, "Bitch, get out. We're sleeping."
Yeah.
The dog would be
much.
happy. The Nook would be happy to see you.
Yeah.
He'd be ecstatic to see you. But so we can get back into that if you want. That women shouldn't have the right to vote.
I mean, I don't feel like that's going to get the rise that you think it's going to get.
Well, just so you know, Republicans gave you the right.
Cool.
We should be the ones to take it away.
Cool.
You guys don't need the right to vote.
Why?
Look, I served. I can vote.
Okay, yes. Okay, you served. You guys
I
are
can
too
vote.
you guys are too emotional to vote. You guys vote with your hearts.
Speak for
You
yourself.
need to vote with your brain. All the women that came out there was like, "She has a vagina. We have to vote for her." You don't vote because of what they have between their legs.
There were dudes doing the same thing with fucking Obama, so don't even play
And they
that
would,
game.
you know what well, yeah, and I disagreed with that. Like, oh, I have to vote for him. He's black.
I feel
are
like
you
there's two, okay. If I ask somebody, "Why'd you vote for Obama?" and one of the first two things that comes out of their mouth is race or gender, you shouldn't be voting.
Nope.
I don't care what gender you are.
Yeah.
If you're basing who you're voting off of because of their ethnicity or their gender, you shouldn't be voting.
So on the front of the card that you vote on, it should be a little thing like 2 questions. Why are you voting? And have race, gender, or
Other.
policies. If they pick race or gender, their vote should just be
In the
thrown
shredder.
away in the shredder right off the
Filed.
bat.
Filed in the permanent filing cabinet.
File 13. Yep. File 13. Gone. But
Yeah, I just can't get with it. I can't, we've talked about this, you and I, Damien. There's there's 3 things that I'm big into when it comes to voting. Are you pro-military? Are you pro-gun? And are you pro-America? If you're those 3 things, I really don't care who you are, what you've done, what your past is. I don't care. But if you're pro those 3 things, you've got my vote.
I am 100% for gun laws. I think they should be banned.
As he says with a wall full of guns.
Yeah, ignore the
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
I'm 100% like, you want guns? Cool, you should be able to buy them. You don't want guns? Then don't fucking buy them.
You know, this has been something that I've always been pro Second Amendment, obviously. In every podcast you see my wall of guns. But I've changed my tune a little bit because I used to be anybody should buy a gun. And I've kind of changed it to I honestly think there should be a state funded course before you buy a gun. I think you should be able to buy, I think you should be able to buy a gun, but there
I
should
think,
be
yeah.
a safety course before you, because I've seen some of these fuckers with guns.
I think,
Oh my God.
yeah. My brother and I had this conversation with our family. Oh God, years and years ago. Like I think he was still stationed in Arizona at the time, and we had a conversation about this, and we were talking about gun violence, whatever, and him and I came to the agreement that yeah, there should be some type of course that if you are not prior military or currently military or law enforcement, you should have to take a course. Um, like, and I think Hunter's Ed is good. Hunter's Ed is good. I mean, they teach you the basics, right? Granted, it's more aimed towards rifles and stuff, but they do like shoot, no shoot scenarios, right? They, at least the old course, I don't know. My daughter went to the new course and it was a single day, which I was like, oh my God, you guys spent 8 hours and that's it. And they don't even ask you to bring a gun. When I went through Hunter's Ed, it was a week long. And we went
Yeah.
every night for a couple of hours, and you had to bring a gun. You had to bring a rifle.
Yeah.
And it was a week long. But I mean, they go through some safety stuff. Like they teach you how to break down your gun. They teach you how to clean it, take it apart, check it, use it, and some other bullshit. But yeah, I think there should be a course, and I think it should be free. Like I think your police department should be able to, or even your sheriff's department should be able to hold weekly classes. Um, and I think, you should have to go through, hey, what kind of gun are you buying? Oh, you're buying a hunting rifle, or you're buying a rifle at all. Okay, cool. Hey, there's this class every Saturday from, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We do a class, and you should have to take that class, and your instructor should have to sign off that you know how to properly operate your weapon, you know how to clear it, you know how to load it, and you know how to use it and unload it.
That would be such an
Like,
easy thing to fund too, because all they would have to do is put the price of guns up like $10 and make that like the
Yes.
like course tax. And so, okay, yeah, you can have your gun, but you need to come back with a certificate that says specifically you completed the course.
Actually, I really like that idea. If you added $10 to, I think every gun, correct me if I'm wrong, I think every gun owner would be more than happy to pay an extra $10 for a gun if they knew there was
that
free
$10 was going
towards the free
Yeah.
safety courses. Because most people don't even know the 4 rules of gun safety.
Yeah.
Like the most basic 4 rule, and this is why when what's that actor that shot the guy that said that the
Alec
revolver-
Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that he got off just pissed me off
So,
something fierce.
A little bit in his defense, it was supposed to be a fake gun.
So
Doesn't matter.
if he would have,
I said a little bit, relax.
See, and to me, not even a little bit, because if you treat even a toy gun with the 4 safety rules, you will never make a mistake, ever.
Yeah, that's why, I remember being little, and we would hit a certain age where, our parents wouldn't let us play with toy guns, in a type of way.
So I have an uncle like that.
Like, if it wasn't a squirt gun, we weren't playing, cops and robbers anymore with it, because it just starts causing bad habits.
See, my uncle's like crazy.
Habits.
Like his kids aren't even allowed to have like water guns.
My grandfather, obviously I had real guns since I've been a kid. I got my first 22 when I was 6.
There's, if I'm not mistaken, behind your head there, one of those book thingies has you holding a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, the rifle's as big as you are, but
yeah, but I've had one. So I remember pointing a toy laser gun at my grandfather. And this was back when you could beat kids, even if they weren't yours. And my grandfather beat the ever-loving fuck out of me and said, "You do not point a gun at anybody that you don't intend to kill."
Yeah.
Like my grandfather from day one taught me the 4 safety. When I picked up my first gun, I got slapped upside the head, because how does everybody pick up a gun? They put the finger on the trigger. That's just like, it just, or they itch their fucking forehead with the barrel of their gun. Like
I've
you
seen
were
it happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've literally seen it happen.
Hold on. Hannah has a story. But if you do the safety rules, treat every gun that it's loaded, never point it as something you don't intend to kill, keep your finger off the trigger, and be sure of your target and what's behind it. If you use those 4 rules, you will never have an accident, ever.
Yeah.
So, Hannah, if you don't know, out there in civilian world. Hannah she worked in a place called Cadams. Cadams instructs.
No. There's no S at the end. It's Catum.
Oh, shut up.
Catm.
We all say Cadams. Calm down.
He
That
adds
doesn't make it
S's to
right.
everything. He adds S's to everything.
The rest, yeah. You always had it. Oh, Cadam. Sorry. Anyways, Cadams. Just to piss you off. So when we have to do our training for our firearms, we go to Cadam and we have military police that train us. And I don't know if it's called Cadam in all the branches. I know it's called Cadam in the Air Force.
The Air Force is the only branch that has this.
Okay. I did not know. Wow. That's something.
So like
something
my
new every
brother's in the
day.
Army. My brother's in the Army. Okay. Once you become like don't quote this like verbatim because I don't know if it's 100% accurate. For his career field, it was. So once you become a platoon sergeant, okay, you lead your troops to the gun range, okay, and you get trained on it, right? But they usually get trained by like other NCOs or senior NCOs or whatever. But you pretty much take your troops to the range and you are trained on how to handle the weapon, shoot the weapon, and grade their targets or whatever. If their weapon breaks, they send it to a whole other career field, supply, and supply either fixes it or they send it somewhere to get fixed and then they get it back. Air Force is the only branch that I know of, and I've had a lot of interaction with people from other branches, that has a unit that specifically does all the weapons training, all the weapon maintenance for the entire base, mind you. Okay, so they do all the weapons training for every military member. They do all the weapon maintenance for all the guns on the base, and they do all the inspections that are needed for pre-deployment, post-deployment, and semi-annual inspections.
Okay.
Air Force is the only one that does it.
Okay, so when you're getting trained, they do the training. Somebody like Hannah does the training, and you have a lot of inexperienced people there.
Because they're like 17 and 18, fresh out of mom and dad's home.
Not always. No, sometimes you have officers that are 30 years old.
Oh
no. Yeah, you'll get senior NCOs that they're like, I haven't shot a gun since basic. And I'm like, you've never deployed? Like, you've never done anything? Like, what?
The running joke in the Air Force is the chair force, because a lot of people in the Air Force don't do military stuff. And when you think of military stuff, you think of Humvees, tanks, guns, mortars, deployment, stuff like that. Yeah. But not all of us do that. Now, I happen to be in a unit that we did not, we went to Cadams, but we had our own firearms. So when I went to Cadams, I brought my M4, the one that was assigned to me. Cadams has a room full of M4s.
But was that because of your specific MOS, or was that because
no, it was
was just your
that was the unit I got assigned to.
Okay.
The unit I got assigned to when we deployed, we weren't. So when most Air Force guys deploy, they go to our base, and the Army or the military police do the outside the wires, stuff like that. When my unit deployed, we got dropped on the ground and there was nobody. There's no rangers securing the field. There was no Army soldiers. There was nothing.
My dad's unit would have come in, correct?
No. We called your dad after we set up everything, after we built the fences, after we built the flight line, after we secured the area. That's why I'm one of the rare Air Force guys that actually has a combat medal.
Okay.
Because I was actually in combat, which is not a common thing for Air Force guys. But I have
not unless you're like EOD or
pararescue,
combat controller, TAC P.
I work with the combat controllers.
Some security forces, like back in the day, like when we first invaded Iraq and stuff. Yeah, you'd see security forces people who would get combat medals, but nowadays, like, it's very lucky.
But I volunteered and I asked to go to those units, so that was not something that specifically my career field did. I'm a 2T2. I load planes. I'm a logistics person. I'm a logistics expert. We load planes. We're never going to be in combat, but I'm also a parachute rigger for the Army. So I also worked with in my unit. We worked with the combat controllers. We dropped ammo. There's a lot of stuff I did that 90% of the Air Force
Doesn't do.
will never see.
Gotcha.
But I volunteered for that. But I brought my own M4. Most people that go to CADMs, there's tiers. You're tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And 4, it only goes to 3?
So they used to do the tiers. Now it's group A or group B. And
Okay.
they brought back group C.
Yeah, the ones that don't shoot like but once in 20 years.
Yeah, they changed it up a little bit. So like group A is CE, security forces. And then any spec ops guys, right? PJs,
Yeah.
TAC P, all that jazz,
And
right? And then
my
some special assignment people, right? So
yeah,
like your
my
example,
unit. Yep.
you would fall under a special assignment unit,
Yep.
right? So that would be group A,
Yep.
meaning you have to qualify annually.
Yeah.
Then you have group B, which is I want to say it's basically everybody else, right? But it's
Yeah.
anybody who has the potential to deploy in a certain amount of years, right? So they are supposed to qualify. I think it's every.
I thought it was 3.
No, that's Group C. Group C falls into that category. So Group B is kind of everybody else, but it's like your maintenance people, logistics, shit like that. And
My
they're
my
supposed
career field.
they're supposed to qualify. I think it's like they changed this right before I got out. I want to say it's every 2 years. I think it's every 2 years.
Yeah.
They're required, or every other year, something like that. I forget what it is. Then you
Nobody
have
get
group.
mad. We've been out of the military for a while.
Yeah. Then you have Group C, which, like I said, they just brought this back like right before I got out. Group C, they have to qualify in a 3-year time span. So
Okay.
they cannot go longer than 3 years without qualifying.
Okay.
Okay,
I remember.
so
Go ahead.
what happens if you wash out of CADM?
Oh, if you don't. Here's where Hannah comes in with her stories.
Yeah, what if
Oh, tell the
you
officer that moved his glasses.
you can't shoot for shit and you literally broadside of a barn, Damien? We know somebody like that.
Yeah, I've tried to teach him.
Okay, so so you come out to shoot, okay?
Okay.
And you this happens a lot more than you think. Okay, so you come out to shoot. Let's say, and we'll say, for example, you're not in a group A career field. Okay, so you're not a cop, you're not CE, and you're not somebody who has to qualify every single year. Okay, so let's say you're getting tasked for a deployment and you're from maintenance. Okay, so you come out to qualify. There's multiple portions of the course of fire that you have to pass, right? If you fail one of them, we can keep going and ensure you pass the rest of it. And then at the end of class, while everybody else goes to go clean their weapons, you'll get one-on-one time with an instructor, and an instructor will have you, they'll do some coaching with you, right? Because on the line, right, we have multiple instructors. So you have an instructor in the tower who is feeding you the course of fire, telling you what magazines to load, what magazines we're using, how much time you'll have, what you're going to be shooting, yada, 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 right? Okay. The whole course of fire, that's their only job, is to run the course of fire. Then you have multiple instructors on the line. Now, one instructor can only have a maximum of 7 students that they are responsible for. Okay.
Okay.
So during that time that they're firing and we're getting your gun zeroed to you and everything, right? The instructor is supposed to be kind of watching everybody to see their fundamentals: trigger pull, breathing, right? Sight alignment, sight picture. They're just kind of watching to see how you're shooting. Okay. Because I can look at a target once a student has shot and I can tell you exactly what they're doing wrong just by looking at their grouping or the lack thereof grouping. Okay. So like if I go look at your target and it looks like you've shot it with a shotgun and you've only shot 4 rounds, I know automatically your sight alignment, not even actually your sight alignment, your sight picture is wrong. Okay, just by looking at the fact that your target looks like a shotgun pattern, your sight picture is inaccurate. So we adjust for those things. So if I see that you failed the very first course of fire and we're continuing on, while we're continuing on, I'm tweaking your fundamentals the entire time. Like I might center in on you, zone in on you, and be like, hey, I noticed this, I noticed that, whatever. So we get to the end of it. Everybody else goes inside, cleans their guns, and we'll coach you, and you get an opportunity to shoot the course again that you failed, just the portion that you failed. If you fail it again, then we have to do, we have to schedule you for a remedial class, and we would do remedial classes. It's different for every base, but we would usually do remedial classes like twice a week.
And that's like basically like just in type of people?
Yeah, that's like just people that have failed. And
right,
the only
so you go back to like basics.
Yeah, so we'll teach you, it's usually a smaller class because we tend to not have to fail people unless we like absolutely fucking have to, right?
Okay.
Like if we miscalculated your zero a little bit, because you only get 3 opportunities to zero your gun. So you shoot 4 rounds 3 times. So you shoot 12 rounds, and that's all we get to zero you. And if we didn't get it exact, I can look and be like, your grouping is good, but you're not zeroed. So we'll fix your zero, and you would have passed.
And zeroing it in is adjusting your sights so that it's...
Yes, to the person.
Okay.
Because if windage.
I'm just trying to make sure that I understand, because if I don't understand, ain't nobody else gonna.
So for your like red dots, right? Like the red dot. If it's zeroed for me, it's more than likely going to be zeroed for all 3 of us. It's going to be pretty accurate, right?
Yeah,
it's not going to change. It's
simple.
not going to change very much. Iron sights, on the other hand, my zero is going to be different from yours, and it's going to be different from Damien's.
Okay.
They might be close,
but different.
But very much different, yeah.
Because my cheek placement is going to be different than
mine, than different
Hannah's, different than yours. How high I look up, how I hold the gun. Because some people, they'll cup the gun. Some people... Like it all depends on how you or not.
Like
everything comes into play with iron sights. How you hold it, your stock weld, everything, trigger place, like all of it comes into play.
Yeah,
even
whether
your breathing,
whether you wrap or put it on the.
Even your breathing. Like if I shoot at the bottom of my exhale, but Damien shoots on the top of his inhale, our zeros are going to be slightly different.
Always at the bottom of your exhale.
So, so everything's going to be different. So if you shoot and I see that your grouping is good, but you're missing the target just a little bit because your zero is off, I can pass you and just adjust your sights.
Okay.
So you come for remedial class, and the remedial class we hit so hard on fundamentals. Okay, sight picture, sight alignment, trigger pull, breathing, grip, stock weld placement, right? We hit on everything, and we will spend like 2 hours in the classroom doing nothing but dry fire drills. That's all you'll do is dry fire drills. Then we'll take you out and we'll have you shoot again. You fail. Okay, so now you've failed technically 3 times. Okay, you failed your initial, you failed the immediate remedial, and you failed your actual remedial. Okay, so now we have to write a letter to the commander, your commander, saying, hey, this individual has failed. Here's how many opportunities they have been given. And it's your commander's decision on what happens. Your commander can take that and be like, well, they're a piece of shit, so we're just going to get rid of them for failure to adapt. Now you're gone. Now they're kicking you out.
Or he's a great person. Yeah.
Or your commander's nice, and maybe you just don't go on this deployment and you try again next time and they find somebody else. Or your commander's really, really nice and tries to work something out with Cadam and does Cadam a favor to let you come out a 4th time. And we really, really generously help you.
So...
And you pass.
How often does that happen? Of like, hey, do me a favor and I'll do you a favor. Like, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
When it comes to deployments, depending on how big the unit is, right? Like maintenance is usually your 2nd to 3rd largest unit on a base,
Okay.
depending on the mission, right? So like in California, where I was stationed at, maintenance was the largest unit on the base.
I mean,
The
makes
largest one.
sense. The vehicles and guns.
No. We're not talking vehicle maintenance. We're talking aircraft maintenance.
Aircraft
Okay.
maintenance is
Yeah,
huge.
because we have
more planes than
least-
vehicles.
we had at least 2 different types of aircraft. Okay, because I was at
Okay.
Beale, so we had the U-2, we had the Dragon Lady. Okay, which is like the only stateside base that has them. So we had the Dragon Lady, so that's one aircraft that we had to maintain. Then we had like a little. It almost looks like a MiG, like from Top Gun. It almost looks like a MiG. It's
Okay.
very, very small, super tiny. And the pilots would use it to maintain, because if you guys don't know, well, if you don't know as a civilian, military members who fly planes, they have to fly so many hours a year.
Yeah.
And they
Are you
don't
talking
get
about
that.
Are you talking about the T-38?
I don't know what it was. It was a little tiny black single-seater jet.
It had
know.
2 inlets on the outside and 1 out the back?
Sure.
That's a T-38. The
I don't
T
fucking know.
stands for trainer. So it's a T-30.
Yeah, it was a trainer. I don't know. It was black. It was tiny. And we had like 20 of them. I don't know. I can
bigger
count
than
on
the
one hand
planes.
how many times I worked the flight line.
Okay.
So, okay. Anyway. But yeah, so tiny little plane. Okay. So they have to fly so many hours. Obviously, flying the U-2, they would not accumulate that many hours. So they have the trainers and they go fly, weekly, daily, whatever, to keep up their hours. And so we had those 2 aircraft. And then we had the Global Hawk, which is a reconnaissance drone. So I had 3 aircraft that they had to continuously maintain at a minimum. That's not including the other. And we had what's the airplane that's got the radar Doppler thingy on top of it?
The fuel plane?
Nope.
No.
Hold on. It's the KC-135, but it's not the tanker. It's the it's got a big, huge radar dome on the top of it.
Yeah, it's got it looks like a pizza sitting at the top of it. Yeah, so we had those.
It fucking does. It's like almost as big as the plane. It's huge.
Yeah, it's ginormous. So we had those for a little while, and then they got reassigned somewhere else. And when they got reassigned somewhere else, we ended up getting a reserve unit in who had refuelers. So we also had refuelers at one point. Okay, so we've got at one point in time, we had 4 or 5 aircraft that we were maintaining. So you have the largest unit on base would be maintenance for aircraft. Okay, so they had over 400 people, and they would deploy at least once a year. They would have a team, if not 2 teams, go out. So depending on how big your unit was, right? So maintenance, a lot of the times if we sent a letter to the commander would just pull them from the deployment and send somebody else. Now, if it's a smaller unit where they can't send somebody else, because when you do get back from a deployment in the Air Force, you have a window where you're not supposed to deploy again.
Right.
And so, yeah, those things.
It really does look like a pizza.
Yeah.
We were, yeah. And
AWACS,
when this
that's what it's called.
AWACS, yep. When this lands at a base, the security forces go fucking insane.
Why?
Because they have to be around this plane. You have to put a perimeter around this plane.
Undisclosed location.
Yeah,
look up NAOC. NAOC.
So that's the plane that flies above the battlefield and tells everybody where everything is.
Mm-hmm.
That radar dome has some insane amount of mileage on it. It can tell you when a plane's coming from 500 miles away. It just knows where everything is. It can see people.
We're very off topic,
people
by the
running
way.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a big Doppler up there that can literally pick up people vehicles, aircraft, you name it.
Okay. So back to he does a favor for you and you do a favor for them.
Yeah, a lot of the times, like, they'll,
Oh, jeez.
you know, like, it's a private conversation between, like, the
So it sounds like it's if
NCOIC.
it's a bigger unit or a bigger section, then it's a little bit
Yeah.
more
You
less
have a
like
little bit more
also,
wiggle room.
right. But like if it's
Yeah.
smaller, it's like a hey, we absolutely have to have this
Yeah.
guy. Like
Yeah. They
let's
usually
figure
call
something
in a
out.
favor, and
Okay.
they'll
And that's only for class B and C, by the way. If you fail that many times in class A,
oh, you're gone.
Okay,
I can't tell you how many security forces people I've seen kicked out because they couldn't qualify.
yeah. And they got to
I've seen quite a
qualify
few.
with at least 2. They got to do the M4 and the Beretta. Well, it's not the Beretta now, but
Yeah.
So what happens if like okay, so you're going through tech school, right? Or basic, whatever.
Basic, I can tell you right now, 90% of the time in basic, they don't even check your scores.
yeah, you're passing in basic. That's
Yeah,
why by the
basic,
time
you're pretty much passing. We had a gal when I went through BMT. We had a gal that I think she got sick. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm pretty sure she got sick, and she missed the day we went to CADM, and it's a whole day event. It's an all fucking day event.
and all
Okay.
night.
Well, no, not in BMT. In BMT, it's just a whole day. They don't shoot nighttime.
Are they not doing nights?
Mm-mm. And you shoot like 96 rounds. Like, it's not anything crazy. Yeah, basic is so back in the day, right? Basic, you used to shoot the pistol too. They don't do that shit neither. Anyway, so basic, we had a gal. She was not there the day that we went and qualified. She never had to go shoot. Our NCOI, our MTI pulled in a favor with CADM and pretty much got her signed off without her ever going.
Jeez.
So
You're that's why by the time they get to Hannah, they may have gone 3 years
Without
and you can't even count
touching a gun.
basic because they dicked off at basic, barely even paid attention. So by
Right.
the time they get to Hannah, they don't know what end of the gun kills you.
yeah, I had one time. I had a senior NCO. Okay, I had a E8 come out. She had not shot since basic. Yeah. And that happens. That happens. Like, I know security forces member like me, okay? I was in 10 years. Got tasked for 2 deployments, didn't get to go on a single one of them. 10 years,
Wow.
only got tasked for 2, didn't go on any of them.
Fuck you.
It wasn't by choice.
Yeah.
So, I know.
We're talking about military, so we're just going to roll with this because I have so many questions, like, just in general about just, like, just y'all's time in.
Oh, God.
So, wait, do you want to hear my funny story before we get into questions?
Yes, please
Okay.
do, yes.
All right, okay. So, this guy was a captain, okay? So he was a pilot for one of the U2s. And when I was at Beale, we fall under ACC, okay, which is Air Combat Command. And the Air Combat Command commander up at like the Pentagon wanted all the ACC bases to get deployment ready in 60 days. Okay. Well, our wing commander at the time was like, we're going to beat it. We're going to get deployment ready in 45 days.
Is that possible? 60 days? Like realistically, like is that
Oh, yeah.
genuinely possible?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you want it done like that, right?
Yeah.
Because like security forces, we go to El Paso, right?
Okay.
Or I don't know if Fort Dix is doing it anymore, but you used to be able to go to Fort Dix too. But I
Okay.
think they pulled that now, and security forces, we only go to El Paso. So we had security forces, we had to have 120 people deployment ready in 45 days.
Okay.
Our pilots and maintenance, same thing, right? So we had in Beale, we had a range that had 28 points. Okay. So we could have 28 students on the line at a time. And pilots at the time only had to qualify on pistol because that's what they carried underneath their pilot seats in a box was a Beretta with 2 mags. So we get these pilots out here. And this guy, okay, he's a captain. So he's been in for at least 4-5 years, maybe. Okay. maybe a little bit longer. Okay. So, huh?
You just got real dark, so rotate your chair if possible.
Yeah, it's
There you
because
go.
I'm trying to like turn so I can show you guys. Okay. So we're out there shooting the pistol. Okay, and this guy wears glasses. Right. So we're out there shooting. Okay, and he's got his gun drawn. Okay, so he's out there, with his gun. And I kid you not, in the midst of firing, so he's like, pew, pew. He takes his fucking gun and he goes like this and he pushes his glasses up, finger on the trigger, pushes his glasses up, puts it back out, and continues firing. I shit you not. I shit you not. Okay. And it was so funny because obviously in the midst of it happening, like I don't want to walk up to the guy and be like, hey man, because then I'm going to have
maybe
brain
don't
matter.
do that.
I'm going to have brain matter. Yeah, I'm going to have brain matter everywhere. Okay. So he holsters his gun and I go over there and I tap him on the shoulder and I was like, hey sir, I need you to step back real quick. And he's like, oh hey, what's up? And I was like, do you know what you just did? And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, do you know what you just did? Like, do you have any idea? And he's like, well, I shot my target. And I was like, right. I was like, do you recall pushing your glasses up with your gun in your hand? And he's like, oh, I didn't do that. And I was like, yeah, you did. And he's like, no, I just pushed them up like this. And I was like, no, sir. No, you did not. You full blown took your pistol and pushed your glasses up on your fucking face with the barrel and then pushed it back out to finish shooting. And he's like, oh my God, I had no idea. He's like, I'm just so used to like, and I was like, yeah. And now you have a deadly weapon in your hand. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, how come you didn't stop me? And I was like, oh yes, because with the gun to your fucking face with your finger on the trigger, I'm supposed to walk up here and be like, hey, sir, so you can blow your fucking brains out? Because that's a good story, right? Had another captain, or was it a major? No, this one was a captain. Okay, so I had another captain. So we used to go from the standing to the kneeling position, okay? And we teach them when you go from standing to kneeling, you pull your gun like this into your chest so that it stays downrange, okay? This dude, I kid you fucking not, mind you, okay, bullet in the chamber, hammer is cocked, so it's it's like a 3.6 pound fucking trigger at this point. Finger on the trigger. This dude goes from here, finger on the trigger, takes that gun and puts it underneath his fucking chin.
Oh my God.
To kneel down.
So instead of doing this, he does this.
Yeah. Okay. I kid you fucking not. Like the barrel is like this far away from the bottom of his chin. And he bends down and he pushes it back out to shoot.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen some stupid real good. He thought he was doing real good.
I've seen some stupid shit. Okay. I had a guy, this was early 2016. So I had just came back from CADM school in San Antonio. And I had a major. Okay. A major, mind you. So he's been in the military for quite a while. Okay. We're shooting the pistol again. Okay. In the Air Force, we carry our pistols, bullet in the chamber, on fire. So the only thing you have to do is pull out and shoot. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people don't like that. So they will put their gun on safe before they go to holster. Okay. Well, this major decided that he was going to put his gun on safe and put it in his holster. So we pull out to shoot, and I'm standing on the line behind him, and he puts his gun out, he pulls the trigger, and it goes click. Nothing. Actually, it doesn't even go click because he has it on safe. So he's just got what we call a mushy trigger. There's nothing happening. Okay. So he taps the bottom of his mag, he racks the slide, and he doesn't sweep. With the Beretta, we were taught to sweep after we tapped and racked so that you would make sure that it's sweep it. So the safety, if it's down, it's on safe. And when you sweep it, you slide it up. So now it's on fire. Okay, well, he wasn't sweeping it to put it on fire.
So so you're holding the gun, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, you go like this?
No, you would just sweep it with your thumb.
Got
Because
it.
you could reach the safety with your thumb.
I
Okay.
would.
So we were tap rack, and then you would sweep your thumb up, and then you'd start
Yeah.
shooting again. Okay.
I
Gotcha.
would show you, but I don't think because if this goes on TikTok, TikTok will have a
Yeah, TikTok
fucking
shit show.
conniption for
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so he tap racks, puts his gun back out, squeezes the trigger again, nothing. Taps, racks, does it again. Nothing happens. So he's ejected 3 live rounds at this point because he hasn't figured out that his gun is on safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see this, and me being a brand new instructor, I was like, you know what? Let's go help a guy out real quick. So I go up there, and I'm standing behind him to the right. So I'm behind him on the right side over his right shoulder, and I grab his shoulder and I squeeze, and I go, hey, sir, what seems to be the problem? This dude
Flags you?
turns all the way around. Okay? And his gun is in his chest that is now pointed in my chest because he turned all the way around.
Yeah.
Okay?
Which I'm assuming is a big no-no.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
point a gun at a cat
yeah.
person?
No. Just turning all the way around. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
you're
So
supposed to set your gun down and then turn around.
If I'm like this and she has a problem with me and she squeezes my shoulder, I keep like this and go, yes. I mean, I'll hear her voice. So I'll be like, yes, ma'am. Do you have what's going, because I'll have like a stovepipe or a double feed, something
yeah.
wrong that I can't get out, but I hold like this.
So you stay
until-
facing forward until
Yeah,
the,
you
the
stay-
problem's
yeah.
fixed.
Yeah,
Okay.
she doesn't
So-
squeeze my shoulder and I go, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the line of
I'm with
fire,
ya.
right? Like we teach, your gun has to stay pointed downrange at all times, right? You
Makes
can't
sense.
you can't flag people to your left. You don't want to flag people to your right. Okay. And you don't want to turn your gun around from the direction of fire.
Okay.
This fucking dude turns around. So now his pistol is in my chest. Okay. He starts squeezing the trigger.
Oh my God.
I fucking kid you not. I kid you not. Okay. So
Can't make this
if
shit
my
up.
mic is his pistol, okay, I'm standing here and he's squeezing the trigger, and he's like, "My gun's not working," and I
Thank
was
God.
like, "Oh my God." Okay, and I'm brand new. So I just got out of Cadam Tech School, where they pretty much teach us that we are God on the range. It does not matter what rank you are. We are the instructor. So no matter what, like you could be a 4-star general and I could be an E2, and my rank of instructor trumps your rank.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. So we are taught that it doesn't matter what rank you are, we are superior. Okay.
Your way or no way.
Yeah. Our little red
Gotcha.
hats, we're the most important people on that range. Because
Okay.
if anything goes sideways,
It's
we're
on you.
at fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this dude turns around, pulling the trigger. My gun's not working. And I'm just like,
Thank God it's not working.
so I snap the pistol out of his hands. Okay. And I was like, you need to go stand behind the tower. And he's like, anyways. So he leaves, he goes and stands behind the tower. I clear his pistol out and I set it down. And the headsets that we have on the range that we use, okay, it blocks out the sound so I don't hear anything of gunfire. But we also can talk to other instructors. So we have a little mic and everything, and we can press a button and we can talk to other instructors. And my instructor in the range saw it. And he gets on the headset and he's like, Hannah, are you good? And I was like, bro, we about to fucking cuss out a major right now. He's like, what happened? And I was like, I will tell you afterwards because we're going to need a powwow after this. Yeah. And so I go to the back side of the tower, and my instructor is like, hey guys, I'm going to send them downrange real quick. Can you review targets with them? Because he knows I'm about to get in this major's ass. So he doesn't want any of the students hanging around to hear it. Okay, so this major is standing there behind the tower, and he's got his glasses off, his headset off, right? And he's just standing there like a lost puppy dog. And 5'2" me, this dude was like fucking 6 foot easily. Okay. I get up on the steps, so now I'm like
Eye to
equal
eye.
eye to eye with him. And
I'm gonna show you how we're gonna
Bro,
fucking.
I whipped out the knife hand so quick, and I was like, "What the fuck are you thinking? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you could have fucking killed me." And bro, I lost it. Oh, I lost it. And like after like 30 seconds of losing it on him, I was like, "Go in and talk to the NCOIC, because if I talk to you anymore, I'm probably gonna lose rank. Go inside and talk to the NCOIC." And I rip my headset off. I pull out my cell phone. I call my NCOIC. And my NCOIC at the time was a huge stickler for rules. Like, I mean, if we were bored before we got certified on all of our weapon systems that we have to teach, he would literally pull out an AFI and he'd be like, "Go to chapter 2, paragraph whatever. It'll talk about XYZ." He's like, "You've got 20 minutes to read it, and then I'm going to ask you about it." And he would do that. So, like, if he came into the office and we were
Pop
dicking
quiz.
around, yeah, he would just start ripping out shit from the AFI.
Yeah.
And so I call him. I'm on the phone with him, and I'm like, "Hey, you have a major on his way to you. He's probably not in the bestest of moods because I just fucking cussed his ass out." He's like, "Hannah, this is like your first day with us. What the fuck happened?" And I was like, no, I have a valid reason. And he's like, "What happened?" And I was like, "This dude had his fucking pistol unsafe, and he turned the fuck around and he put it in my chest and he pulled the trigger and said that his gun didn't work." And he's like, "All right, valid." He's like, "I got this. I'll take care of it." That dude never came back. I never saw him again at the range. And I was there for 3 more years.
Jeez.
Never saw him again. Don't know what happened to him, but I never saw him again. Yeah, you hear some crazy stories at CADM. I had an instructor when I was in tech school that they were doing rifle. And when you go down range to grade targets, right? And then students are taught to clear their guns, set them down, and
Yeah.
step back from
Yeah.
the line. Okay. Then your instructors will go down range. And the person who's in the tower is monitoring students to make sure that they don't cross the safety line, because there's a red line for the target for the firing line, and then there's a yellow target, which is our safety line. And if an instructor or somebody is downrange, nobody is supposed to pass that safety line except for instructors. So they're monitoring to make sure nobody goes down there. And before we go downrange, we check to make sure that all the guns are clear. This instructor was walking down to go check a student's target, and somehow a student was on a gun when he went downrange, and they fucking shot right past him. Yeah. We also had heard a story about an instructor who, so usually to run a class, you need at least 2 people for instructors. Because when you open your vault to arm students with a gun, you have to have somebody who's actually legitimately armed with ammo, because now you have more than a certain amount of guns out. So I think depending on the class of weapon, you can have 7 out, and then somebody has to be armed at 7 guns, right? Machine guns and stuff like that, it's like 1 or 2. But I think pistols and I think rifles, if you have under 7 out, you cannot be armed and it's okay. But when we open the vault, right, like at Beale, we had 40 M4s in the vault, at least 20 M9s, 2 240s, 1 249, and then a shit ton of ammo and a shit ton of shotguns. So as soon as we open the vault, somebody has to be armed. And so this guy was at a shop. He opened the vault by himself and was armed. And he was also teaching that day, which is a huge no-no. In the classroom where you're doing your training, it is absolutely, you cannot have any live ammo in the classroom at all. And so what he was doing is he was taking his loaded pistol out of his holster and he was setting it on the table. And then he would take an empty pistol and that's what he would demonstrate with. Well, at some point in the class, he got confused and he went to go demonstrate the pistol, and it happened to be his loaded pistol, and he fucking shot a hole in the wall.
At least a wall and not a person.
Yeah. So, like, there's some crazy shit that you hear about CADM.
Okay. So, We talked about violence for the first, like, I don't know, hour, right?
No, I wouldn't even say hour.
Not
It was
even
probably
the,
like
yeah.
10 minutes.
No.
Okay. So, being that, Damien, you did 21
3.
23
I
years?
did 23.
Hannah, you did
10.
10? Okay.
Yeah.
So, obviously, like, the stereotypical question from most people when they meet you, right, is, "Oh, well, did you kill anybody?" I'm not gonna ask that. I don't wanna know.
No.
That's horrible.
We
No.
hate that question.
I
I
know.
don't even get that question.
Okay, so Hannah,
I get
what's the most
I
popular
get
question?
the Air Force. Did you fly a plane?
Okay.
Which,
You
don't
get
get me
that one a
wrong,
lot.
we have a lot of planes, yes, but, like, if you wanna go fly, like, jets, like fighter jets, you need to go to the Navy. You go
Yeah.
to the Air Force, you're not flying a fighter jet. Like, you're not gonna go be in dogfights. You're gonna fly a KC-135, you're gonna fly a refueler, you're gonna fly the
Yep.
Hercules, you're gonna fly a U-2 and a
1%.
trainer.
1% of people.
You might go to Minot and you might fly the B-52.
Yeah, well, 1% of people in the Air Force actually are pilots.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of us.
Okay, Damien, obviously, I know that was a pretty popular question for you when you were in. What would you say is, like, the second-ish to third question that you got asked? Most popular.
I get asked where I've been a lot. The
Hannah, same?
flying one is popular. Where I've
I'd say
been,
the
the
I'd say
flying.
the flying is the most popular.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Like, I get a lot of people that, like, "Oh, did you serve?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, how long?" That's, like, usually, like, the top one,
Yeah.
right? Before they figure
Yeah.
out that I was in the Air Force. "How long?" "Oh, I did 10 years." "Oh, were you in the Army?" That's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Nope, I was in the Air Force." And once
Yeah.
they hear that I'm in the Air Force, usually they lose interest and they're like, "Oh, well, thank you for your service."
The
If they keep
tone
it going, yeah, the
It's
tone changes and they're like, "Oh, thank you for your service." And
the
then
dog, Damien. You're gonna have
I
to
know.
if
you're gonna
they're
have to open the door.
actually interested, it's the, "Did you fly a plane? What plane did
Yeah.
you fly?"
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Damien did, like, he would have, like, school kids, like, come through and, um Hannah, did you ever have anything like that? Like,
Mm-mm.
no school
Mm-mm.
kids, no, none of that.
No, security forces isn't cool enough for that.
Okay.
So we had in our unit, we had a public day. Like, we'd have high schools or something do a field trip, and we would set up, and we fucking hated it because you have to set up one of our tents in this big warehouse. You have to set up one of the tents. You got to set up all the equipment we use, the comm equipment, the chutes, the armory guys. They bring all the toys out. The
Yeah.
240, the M4s, the Beretta, the shotgun. They bring all the toys out, and they set them up on the table. And obviously, they're the most popular. Like, all the high school kids just fucking gravitated towards the armory guys. And any one of us could be an armory guy. It just depends on where you get sat. But they all gravitated towards them. But so the kids would come in and they'd ask us questions. They'd ask, do any of us fly? I'm like, no, we're all enlisted right here. We don't fly. This isn't World War II anymore. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
but
Damien, I know, like, for you, because you've been in for so long, like, what was your favorite question? Like, what was, like, the top-notch question that you were like, "Wow,
it
like,
was,
that was a really
it
intricate or
was,
just fun question?"
it was rare, but they would ask questions about the countries I've been to.
Okay.
Because to me, I mean, I went into the military, because of pride, basically American, you know, pride of my
America.
country. Yeah, America. Um, but I also went in
Martha.
because I grew up in Michigan and North Dakota. Like,
Yeah.
I was so tired of being
Cold.
here. Well, not just cold. I wanted to see the world, and the fucking Air Force did that. And I got to fly all over, and I've been to so many countries and spoke to so many people in different languages and different. I absolutely love that. It was like my favorite thing. So when they would ask me, they'd be like, "Oh, what was, you know,
Your favorite
Iraq?
country.
What was your favorite country? Or what was Iraq like? Or what was Germany like? Or which it's actually helped me a lot when I go live on like TikTok and stuff like that, and people start debating when I get political because people debate me on other countries and they are reading from a book or getting news information. And I could tell them, I'm like, well, I'm glad the book told you that, but I lived there.
Right, yours is firsthand
Yeah, I
experience.
actually like talk to the people that are in that book that you're
Yeah.
reading. I've talked to them in person in their country, sat down, eating their food.
Yeah, like I've broke
Their
bread with these people.
yes. So when I get into my Muslim debates, the Quran,
So for
the
you,
Middle
your
East,
favorite question
I like
is
talking
where
about the
have you
places that,
been?
yeah, I love
Okay.
talking about my service, like the places I've been, the things I've done. I mean, obviously I can't tell them everything, but yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Hannah, have you ever been asked like a really fun question or
What's the dumbest thing you did with a gun?
Yeah, apparently you have stories of that for days.
Not really. I mean, so my first couple of years in, right? Obviously my first tour being at Turkey, like I like stuck to myself. I went to work, I did my job, I had fun, like I could tell you a story about how I in full battle rattle with a gas mask on and everything, I pissed in a bottle in a Humvee full of dudes during an exercise, you know.
Did you use your shiwi?
No, that was before Shiwis were even a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you hit the bottle? Or
Yeah, it was a
did
Gatorade.
you
It was a Gatorade bottle.
Oh, no wonder. Yeah, you had a
Yeah.
target.
Yeah, so I remember it like it was during the so at PL1 N bases, right, which is your nuclear bases, you have inspections. Okay, well, before you have your big inspection, you have what's called a pre-NSI inspection. Okay, and it's an entire base-wide inspection. So every unit is involved. Okay, so we go out and we're doing an exercise. Okay, exercise kicks off that we're taking indirect fire and whatever. Okay, so we're all in battle rattle. Okay, right. When we go out, we're in battle rattle. We have our vest on, we have our helmet on, all 6 mags, all the guns, the whole 9 yards. Okay, and the exercise was that the asset had been hit and it was leaking fluids or some type of chemical, whatever, into the air. So we put our gas masks on, which is very, very stupid because gas masks don't protect against anything nuclear in the air.
No, it doesn't.
So we put our gas masks on. So I'm in a Humvee with 3 other dudes, and we're parked because we've cleared the enemies, and now we're waiting for Bio to come out in their little fucking yellow suits with their little guns to read the air, and they start all the way on the complete opposite side of the area that we're in. And literally, they're just walking with their little guns, okay? And it's not making any noise because there's nothing in the fucking air. And they're waiting for the inspector, who is part of running the exercise, to say, "Oh, hey, your gun went off. That it's detecting X amount of whatever in the air." Okay, that's what they're waiting for. But they have to do it like it's the real deal. So we're sitting there for hours. Okay. And I'm like, yo, I have to pee. And my NCO that was in the truck in the Humvee at the time is like, yo, we're in a fucking exercise. You're not peeing right now. And I was like, all right, I'll wait. I'll wait. Hour and a half goes by. And I'm like, bro, I have to pee now. Like, if I don't get out of this Humvee to go freaking pee, I'm going to piss my pants. And then I'm going to be out of work for 3 days because if I piss my pants, they're going to want to do a psych eval, which means I'm going to be DNA for 3 days. So what are we doing? And he's like, he's like, you think you can pee in a bottle? I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, cool. And he just hands me a Gatorade bottle. Like literally, he just hands me a Gatorade bottle. And he's like, there you go. And I was like, you have a knife? And he's like, fuck you need a knife for? I was like, well, this is a really tiny hole. I don't have a schlong. So I can't just line it up. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I got a knife. So he gives me a knife and I literally cut the top of the bottle off. Okay. Like right in here somewhere. So I have a little bit bigger of a hole.
Yeah.
I'm in full fucking battle rattle. Okay. Gas mask, helmet, whole 9 yards. And everybody knows how small, well, military members know how small Humvees are in the back seat. Okay. I kid you not. Kid you not. Okay. I like shimmied my freaking pants down to my knees and I like lifted myself up on the center console of the Humvee where like the turret gunner's feet would be. Okay. And I'm just naked butt cheeks where the turret gunner's feet would be at if we had one. Because now I have a little bit of elevation between the seat and me. And I get up on there and I'm sitting on it and I have a leg hiked up. Y'all can't see what I'm doing, but I have a leg hiked up and I put the bottle there and I just peed into the bottle. And then I get done and I set the bottle down where my ass cheeks were and I shimmy my pants back up and I tuck everything back in and I, do up the belt and everything. And mind you, I'm on the side that's facing the road. Okay. And so because I'm in the seat that's facing the road, I handed it to the guy next to me and I was like, you need to do something with that. And he was like, what the fuck do you want me to do with it? And I was like, I'm facing the roadside where all the inspectors are at. Do you want me to open my door and dump out my Gatorade bottle full of urine? And he's like, oh, you're right. So he like opens his door just a little bit. He dumps it out. And then he just like hides the bottle under his seat. And I was like, cool beans. Carry on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
Damien.
No, no,
What?
nobody asked me anything cool. Security Forces is gay. We don't do anything.
Damien, do you have any funny stories or?
I don't. I have painful stories. Those are all
we're not
my
gonna do
stories.
that. We're not
So
gonna do that.
I have a picture of me sleeping in a Humvee
no,
in the driver's seat.
it's not a bad story. Like nothing, like no dead bodies or anything. But we're doing parachute drops out at South Carolina. So when we're doing parachute drops, we're dropping large cargos. They're sim cargos. They weigh about 10,000 pounds, and they got chutes on them. So when the parachute hits the ground, there's a coupler on it that is supposed to decouple the chutes. So the chutes are not attached to the cargo anymore.
Right,
and
so
if
it doesn't drag it.
Yeah, and if the wind is a certain, windage, we're not. If it's a certain mile per hour, you're not supposed to drop. And it was like right on that line, And so they dropped the chutes, no big deal. I walk over to the chutes, and I'm sitting there trying to get this coupler off because the chutes, they dropped and the chutes fell over, and I'm sitting there messing with the coupler. Well, I'm not noticing that my feet are in the lines of the chute. Like, so I'm standing with the chute, the cargo in front of me weighs about 10,000 pounds. The chutes are behind me, and my feet are all in the lines. And then all of a sudden,
I can see where this is going.
I feel a big gust of wind hit me, and I'm like, "Ooh, that was big." And I turn around and I look, and the chutes open up because the wind opened up the chutes, and then takes off. And then we're dropping on a flight line, and I'm at the end of the flight line. It starts taking off down the flight line, and it was like the cartoon where you see the rope starts spinning and going, and you know what's coming. So I see all these lines start going, and I look down at my feet, and they're all tangled up in the lines, and I'm like, well, this is gonna suck. And then fucking asshole over elbow, that fucker drags me down, and I get dragged down the flight line.
Hell yeah.
With the chutes. Well, I'm sitting there, and I have my rigging knife on me. So I pull out my knife, and I'm just slashing at the lines to get my feet
Anything
free.
to break free.
Anything to break free, because I'm being dragged on my back down the asphalt.
Yeah, your uniform's only gonna protect you for so long.
It didn't. I had it took off my whole uniform, and it took off all the skin down my back, down my leg. So I'm sitting there fucking trying to slash, getting this thing off. And then all of a sudden, I slash the last one and I stop, not realizing it's dragging a 10,000-pound piece of cargo behind me. And I look around and I see this piece of cargo coming at me, and it was going to just flatten me, and that would have been it. Well, right when I looked at it, the wind died down and the chutes fell.
Holy crap.
And the cargo stopped. I got up. I had no uniform on. I'm pouring blood off my back and stuff like that. My NCO comes running up to me, pissed off at me, and I got my ass chewed for it, because we all know as riggers, you don't stand in the lines.
You weren't supposed to be there.
I wasn't supposed to be there. It was my fault. I wasn't paying attention. I was young and stupid. What do you want? And so I had to go back to the shop. I ended up going to the hospital. They patched me all up. I had extra uniforms with me because we stay out there for 7 days. Because you're just out in the middle of nowhere for 7 days. Another one. So the flight line that we used to airdrop thing, the Army used to play. So they did their little war games out there. So us 3 airmen are out there, and we're walking around like we had nothing to do. The drops were done. The NCOs were fucking sleeping or whatever, the one NCO that we had. And us 3 airmen are out there. Well, we found a box of smoke grenades that the Army had forgot out there. And it's July in South Carolina. The grass is completely dry. We did not know that smoke grenades heat up. Like they get hot.
I mean, the smoke's got to come from somewhere.
Well, we weren't thinking that. So we grabbed these smoke grenades, pull the pin, fucking chuck them. And we're throwing them in the tall grass. Not thinking nothing of it. And all of a sudden, the grass starts catching on fire.
I wonder why.
So we started
You're a genius.
We started a 1 acre fucking grass fire. Now, the flight line had the control tower. The control tower happened to have the fire department in there. So I go running back to the fire department. They don't get work ever. Like they're out in nowhere. Like they never get a fire.
They never get fires. So when they get a fire, they panic.
I knock on the door, and a half sleeping sergeant and airman, I don't know who it was, but he was half asleep. They were fucking in there napping. And I was like, I have a problem. And they're like, what's the problem? And I pull him out and I point. The whole field is on fire.
Oh my God.
The whole fucking field's on fire. And he got a big grin on his face. And he grabbed all of his guys, and they were so happy to do this shit. They got the fire truck out. They ran down. They got it out. And we didn't talk about that.
We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
When I was in California, we shared an office. Our BDOC shared an office with the fire department's dispatcher. And I was working in BDOC that day, and we had a fire that started just outside of base housing. Okay. And it started out small, and then obviously it grew because Northern California is
always on fire.
Pretty fucking dry. Okay. And I remember going to turn in, and I was talking with my flight chief, like he was reviewing my blotter and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I was asking him like, hey, like, how was the fire? Like, whatever. And he's like, can you believe this shit? He was like, their on-scene commander asked me if they could use it as a training exercise and let it continue to burn stuff. And I was like, are you serious? Like, because it was literally like fire, and like 50 yards the other direction was base housing. Wow. 50 yards. Like, that's all it was. Like, it wasn't a big gap or anything. And one swift change direction of wind, base housing would be going.
Yeah.
And he's like, this guy asked me if they could use it as a training exercise and just continue to let it burn and mitigate it, and so that they can get some training in. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, I was like, maybe if it wasn't so close to base housing, but you're pretty close. But they used to do fire, like they never get fucking anything, dude.
Yeah. I destroyed a Humvee. I fixed it, but I did destroy it.
I hit a cow with a Humvee.
Yeah. I drove one into a lake.
Actually, I gotta
Yeah. So a Humvee is supposed to go through 4 feet of water, and I've went through Humvee training
I've heard the
of going
story
through the water
17
and all that.
times.
Yeah. Oh.
Lakeland cow killer. Oh no.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, so get this, okay. So it was my last day at work, okay, before I was supposed to PCS to Minot. And I had made staff. This was February. I had made staff the testing cycle. And so that would have been August, right? So I made staff. I was supposed to put on staff in November, and I didn't get to put staff on till December. I don't remember exactly when I got to actually put on because I had to wait to go to ALS. Okay, so I'd recently put on staff. Like I'd maybe had staff on for like a month, 2 months at most. Okay. And my last day of work, we had to do nighttime fire with the heavy weapons for a group of security forces members who were deploying. So when they deploy, not only do they have to fire the heavy weapons during the day and at night.
Hold on. The Nook has a story.
He's got to tell you guys how abusive I was today, clearly.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got to lick the mic is what he's got to do. Okay. So, but they also have to fire from a moving vehicle. So they have to fire from the Humvee. So we would borrow our Humvee from EOD. And EOD, for the longest, was trying to get rid of their Humvee because they hated it and they really didn't need it. And so we get done with nighttime fire, 9 yards. It's like 11:30 at night. And the Humvee's lights were not very good. Like they would go in and out, they wouldn't work. And somebody had replaced the windshields. And Humvees, if you put the windshield in backwards, it bubbles. Okay.
Like,
And so somebody had put, like, it just forms bubbles on the inside of the window.
Weird.
Yeah. When you put them in backwards. And so someone had put theirs in backwards. And so it was super bubbly. So not only is the Humvee windshield like fucking this big, then you add bubbles to it where you can't see through it. So now you're looking through a fucking hole that's this big. Okay. And the lights would go in and out. And they had told us, you know, hey, when the lights go out, just hit the brights, which was on the floorboard. Okay. So you would just hit the brights and they would stay on. And he was like, after a couple of minutes, turn the brights off and you'll be fine. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm driving down this dirt road going 25 miles an hour because that's the posted speed limit. So I'm driving down this dirt road and we had cattle on the base because there was a rancher who had leased some of the land from the base to have cattle. I kid you not, like the cattle were a very important part of this base. Like at the screen that we had when you would enter the base, it literally had a cow counter for how many cows were on base. Okay.
Oh.
So we're driving down the road and my lights had gone out. And so I'm like hitting the fucking brights and they're not working. And I'm like fucking trying to get the lights back on and everything. I get the lights back on and all of a sudden I see a pair of eyes looking at me in the middle of the fucking road. And so I took my foot off the gas and I went to move over just a little bit. And the fucker walked right in front of the Humvee and I had smacked him. It was a younger cow. Like it wasn't a full grown adult yet, but he wasn't a baby either. He was like
Probably like
teen.
a yearling or so.
Yeah, like a yearling. Like he was like a teen, you know?
Okay.
Okay. So, and I smacked him and I had smacked him. So he was standing like this, right? And I smacked him and he had turned like this and he had shit all down the side of the Humvee. And then he just laid down. So I thought I'd killed him. I was like, fuck, I just killed a cow. Fuck it. All right, cool. My buddy's on an ATV because we have to put the flag down. We have to move barriers, all this kind of thing. And he comes up behind me and he's laughing his ass off. And he's like, did you fucking hit a cow? And I was like, yeah, dude, I hit a cow. And he's laughing his ass off. So we get back to Cadam. We get everything unloaded. And I go with my little flashlight and I start inspecting the Humvee. Because if I didn't damage the Humvee, I technically don't have to report it. Okay. So I'm like, okay, oh, fuck, all right. And the fenders were made out of fiberglass and it was cracked and it had a bunch of fucking black hair in it. And I was like, fuck me. And I'm looking and I see down the side of it that he had shit all down the fucking side of the Humvee. So I go to my NCOIC and I was like, hey, boss, I have a hypothetical for you. And he's like, what is your hypothetical question? I was like, so hypothetically, if somebody had hit a cow with a Humvee, would they have to report it? And he starts laughing and he goes, is there damage, hypothetically? And I was like, I don't know if the damage hypothetically was there before or not, but so maybe, but there's hair in it. And he goes, so hypothetically, if you damaged the Humvee, hypothetically, yes, you would have to report it. And I was like, okay. And he's like, why? And I was like, let's just say I hit a cow. And he's like, okay. And we're laughing hysterically at this point. Okay. And he's like, let's go look at it. And I was like, okay. So we got there, we look at it, and you can see that the fender's completely fucking cracked. And there's a shit ton of cow hair sticking out of it. And he's like, was this damaged before you hit the cow? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. And he was like, check the 1800, which is a little sheet that tells you, like, you're supposed to fill out if it's damaged, the mileage.
It's a vehicle inspection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I start looking at it and I'm like, doesn't say that the fender was cracked. And he's like, go ahead, call BDOC and let them know that you have damage to a GOV. I was like, okay. So being the fact that I had been on flight prior to this, I call up flight and a guy that I used to work with answered the phone. And I was like, hey, man. He's like, what's going on? And I was like, hey, so I need you to send a patrol out to Cadam. And he's like, oh my God, what happened? And I was like, I may or may not have hit a cow with a Humvee and I cracked a fender.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. And he starts laughing hysterically. And he's like, you hit a fucking cow? And I was like, yeah, dude. And he's like, all right. He's like, yeah, I'll have police 3 headed out there. And we have a radio at Cadam, so we turn the radio on. And I fucking shit you not. This dude comes across the radio and, he's like, police 3, hey, I need you en route to Cadam for a potential damage to a GOV. And police 3's like, copy that. What kind of vehicle are we dealing with? What's going on? And he's like, hey, be advised, Sergeant Hannah states that she may or may not have hit a cow with the Humvee over the fucking net, dude. And this dude comes back on the radio and he's laughing hysterically. And he's like, hey, did I hear you right? You said that Hannah hit a cow? And he's like, that's an A-firm. These guys show up laughing hysterically. And they're looking at it and he's like, yeah, fender's cracked, whatever. And he's like, bro, how the fuck did you hit a cow? And I was like, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, I don't want to talk about it. Then BDOC calls me. They call our office and they say that the commander is en route.
Oh, shit.
Okay, my commander is en route. And I'm like sweating fucking bullets because I had just put staff on. And I'm like, this is my last day at work. Like, I don't come back to work tomorrow. I start my leave in order to PCS. So my commander shows up. All my paperwork is filled out, right? Everything's done. Okay, well, in security forces, there's certain things that happen on base, and you have to report it all the way up to the wing commander, depending on what it is. Okay, so your wing commander is like a full-blown colonel, okay, and he or she oversees the entire base. So my commander shows up, and he comes in, and he's like, hey, Hannah, how you doing? And I was like, hey, sir, how's it going? And he's like holding back, smiling and kind of laughing. And he's a prior TAC P guy. So he's like real dead serious, like, no shit, okay? And he comes over there and he goes, hey, I want to shake your hand. And I was like, okay. And so like, I'm like shaking his hand and he's like, hey, I just want to thank you for allowing me to have my first ever cow killing notification. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, hey, look, he's like, it's all good. He's like, shit happens. He's like, you're not in any trouble. Like, it's all good. No worries. Like, you reported it. It's whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for letting me know, like letting me have my first ever career cow killing notification. And I was like, all right, cool. Awesome. Okay. So all that happens. Okay. And before I was actually leaving California, we had a and we had a award something or another that the MSG commander was going to be giving out medals to a couple of people for some stuff that had happened. And so my boss is like, hey, you don't have to come, but I would like for you to come. I was like, hey, I'll come. I was like, can I come in civvies? Like, is that cool? Because I'm technically not
On
assigned.
leave.
Yeah, like I'm on leave and I'm not assigned to the base anymore. I'm technically en route kind of thing. And he was like, yeah, it's fine. So I come and I'm sitting with my unit and our MSG commander gets up there. Okay. I have never met this woman. I don't know anything about her. Okay. She gets up there and she's, thanking all these people and talking about all these people and all these awards they get and everything. And she goes, is Sergeant Hannah here today? And I was like,
Oh God.
fucking God, dude. I'm like sweating bullets. And I look at my boss and all of the guys in my shop were all sitting in the same line and they're laughing their fucking asses off. And my boss is like, you got to stand up. She's talking to you. You got to stand up. So I stand up and I'm like, here, ma'am. And she's like, Sergeant Hannah. She's like, I just want to thank you so much. She's like, I have never, ever in my, 20 something years of service, I have never gotten a notification that we have killed a cow on base. And I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, it is hysterical. She's like, it's days like this that, people like live for when they're in the military. Like, she's like, so thank you. Like, this is amazing. She's like, and I'm so glad that it took all these years for this to happen, blah, blah. And she's like hyping me all up. And mind you, I'm like sweating fucking bullets at this point, right? I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, now everybody on base knows that I killed a cow, you know? And she's like, so thank you. And she's like, and I'm so glad that you were able to make it. She's like, I know you're PCSing, good luck in your next chapter, blah, 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 And she's like, all right, everybody, that's it. That's all I got. So if nobody's got any questions, concerns, have a great day. And I fucking sit down and I look at my boss and I was like, you fucking asshole. Like, you knew that she was going to talk about this. And he goes, actually, yeah. He's like, the commander and I talked about it.
Damn.
And he asked me to have you come here because she was going to talk about it. And I was like, oh my fucking God, dude.
I hate all of you right now.
Yeah.
Well,
it was great. It was a good time.
On that last story, that's a great last story to end it on.
Yes.
So
it's good times.
Yeah, it was good times. Thank you.
I sent you a photo. Are you able to pull it up?
I can pull it up on. She is.
No, that's not the same.
That's what you
not
said.
The same. I know, but that's not the same. I thought you'd be able to like.
Well, I got to download it and then send it.
It's a whole thing.
Okay, next episode. Episode.
So I think what I'm going to do for next week is create like a bunch of random photo or random questions for you guys, and then we'll just let y'all talk until you're content.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
I think
we're just
so.
gonna do.
We'll
do
think of something. Unless
Q&A about what?
Unless something blows up, like unless something big in the world happens.
I think before our next episode, it's about to come out.
What?
The Epstein files.
Yep. Oh,
that comes out on Tuesday.
Epstein files. All right.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Knocked the fuck out.
Hell yeah, dude. I don't know why people say they can't get comfortable in Humvees. I have no problem.
You are upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, my head's chilling on a backpack next to a fire extinguisher.
Yep.
And then when my feet would go numb, I'd stick them out the window. I'm sorry, I could sleep like that for hours. I'd be out.
It looks like it.
Dead.
Please visit us on TikTok, Spotify,
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Thank you for listening to us ramble about absolutely nothing again. Everybody have a good day, and you're going to be seeing this on Monday, and next episode is next Monday. So
yeah. Subscribe, like, comment,
share.
All right,
share. Yeah, sharing is a big one.
Sharing is caring.
I wish people would comment more because, like,
yeah,
Yeah.
We don't
Well,
really
we got
have anything to comment about.
well, maybe we should piss off some more fucking teachers because that one blew up.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
for real.
The teachers were not happy with us on that last episode. When you said that when you said that they need school uniforms, they lost their fucking mind.
Yeah, maybe we should do an episode about what that looks like.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.